Firstly, I think so far we have had 9 by-elections, right? And out of that, I think 2 are because of death, and the rest are all, I would say, a premeditated plan to have a by-election by the Pakatan Pembangkang. I would say planned and orchestrated for the by-election so as to keep the momentum that the rakyat is for them. I look this as something which is not healthy and something which is certainly a waste of public funds.
The frequency of the by-elections do seem to be very extraordinary. I think everyone will agree it's not by design, it's caused by various factors. The main factor being the passing away of the representative. For most cases, were caused by factors which is out of anybody's control.
It's something which has never happened before in the country, in the sense that it is a case of an assemblyman who failed to attend 2 sittings, and it is also a case of a speaker who, rather than acted impartially as what it is expected of him, being a speaker, in the sense that he is no longer representing his seat, but he's actually the speaker of the Dewan, who is expected to act impartially by virtue of the robe and also the mace that is placed before him, has acted swiftly, harshly, and with some political motivation behind, to just keep the momentum of having by-election as often as you can. So I see this case of Kota Siputeh as an unfortunate event or incident for Barisan Nasional, in the sense that every one of us will fall sick, every one of us will one day not be able to attend, but for mere reasons of falling sick, you want to take that person out of his misery to your advantage is something which is very, not only ungentlemanly, but also very uncalled for.
The rule or the law states that the speaker has the right to vacate that seat by virtue of the elected representatives' non-presence. But this is not a question of political consideration, it is a question of the law. And the rule of law, as far as Pakatan must be respected. So the speaker did the right thing by declaring the seat empty, and because that's what's been stipulated. The High Court really confirms the fact that the speaker has the right, because the speaker he is in charge of the house. The election commission, they are only responsible for ensuring that the election is being held and being held fairly. The question of whether or not the seat has been vacated or it becomes vacant by virtue of the absenteeism of the elected representative, that's not for them to decide. So as far as I'm concerned, I think the High Court judge did the right decision.
Chances of appeal, I would say, is always a 50-50 case, because like what the judge has stated in her oral judgment that day, which is on a Monday, of course she was referring to certain notes and here and there are certain areas where I think the judge may have failed to appreciate fully the decision of the Federal Court, and also the separation of powers between the Speaker in the Dewan, the Election Commission as to their powers under the Election Act, which is a Parliament Act, and also the powers of the Rights and Privileges Committee, which is part of the Dewan but independent from the Speaker.
The decision on the appeal has very wide implication, because it can even bring back the issue of the 3 elected representatives in Kedah. If the appeal the EC loses the appeal, then that would mean that the decision of the Speaker is final, and the EC has no right in contradicting the Speaker. So I believe that in light of this implication, I think that the appeal Barisan Nasional will win the appeal.
If at all there were to be a by-election, UMNO would definitely put the best candidate ever that they can have. In fact, I was made to understand they are already identifying few candidates. So chances, I'm optimistic that we will do well. And of course, when you go to a by-election, you definitely want to win. So the chances is to win.
Traditionally, it's Barisan Nasional, and even though we are in the state government currently, we are quite limited by virtue of the financial constraints that the state government faces. So even though it is a much cleaner government, it's a much more responsible government, but in terms of the direct benefits to the general people, to the general population, it's not as dramatic as it would be if the state government itself had funds. So in that situation, I would think that there's nothing dramatic that has happened that would change the status compared to the March 2008 election. So, meaning to say that the situation would still be most likely status quo, most likely. So the chances of Barisan Nasional winning is slightly higher compared to us winning.